Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Impact or Hit. I, Joey Styles, Jonathan Coachman, and Aiden English here. Aiden English does. Aiden English is on the play-by-play team on the True on TNAW's Impact, so he truly is. I, Joey Styles, Jonathan Coachman, and Aiden English here, and today on Impact or Hit, we're going to have a good show here today on Impact or Hit. Wouldn't you think, Jonathan? I would think so, Joey. I think we're going to have a good day here, a good show here today on, on Impact or Hit. We always do. I can tell you one thing right now, Joey and Jonathan. We are going to have, most likely we're going to have a good show, here today on, here today on, on Impact or Hit, that we're going to have a good show here today. Aiden English says, and I wonder what the show's going to be about. I wonder who's going to be. Ow! Fuck, hit me in the knee. And I wonder who's going to be on the show here today. I wonder what we're going to be doing, here today on Impact or Hit. Well, Joey Styles said hopefully we will have the answer. Hopefully Joey Styles said we'll have the answer. We'll have the answer for that here today on Impact or Hit. So let's go to ring now, because I think that we do have the answer. Alright. All you folks know I'm standing for the force. All you folks know I am standing for the force-sittership of the 4-1 Reichs again. And I have to come up with some crazy shit to get folks to choose for me. So one of the craziest shit I came up with is that the unlawful burglars are going to be eating your dogs and your cats. And if you don't choose for me, then most likely you're going to be welcoming them to do all that. You see, mudslinging or dirt slinging has been in law-making since there's been folk rights. In Hellenish land, Athens mostly, Romish land, when it was a folk right, before it became a Kaiserdom, Venice land, when it was, a folk right, and the Netherlands, when it was a folk right, and a 4-1 Reichs has no to that. So I know that I'm going to get in. And good luck to anyone else who thinks I'll not get in. Because I will. You know what, Donald Trump, a lot of folks really don't give a shit about, really care about what you are or not going to do if you get chosen as the force-sitter again of the 4-1 Reichs. We all know that your first time as force-sitter, 2007 between YL to 2021 YL, was mostly you not wanting to play. You thinking that the force-sittership made you a highest leader, and got pissed off when the Winnemalt, the House of the Elders and the House of the Folks, said no to a lot of your things. Got pissed off when the High Deaver said no to your things as well. So I don't even want to get into it. And somehow you've gotten folks into believing that the unlawful borrowers are not only coming into the 4-1 Reichs to sell unlawful drugs or to do kidnapping or Freudianism or whatever, you also got them believing that now they're going to go after folks' dogs and cats and things like that. See, this is how I know you're not fit to be the force sitter. And I could spend my whole time throwing dirt on you, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to throw dirt or mud or whatever you call it, because that's going to make you, I'm going to take the higher street and say that, yeah, I made some mistakes. I'm sinful. You made mistakes. You're a sinner too, even though you like to believe you're not. But let's be earnest about it. I'm not going to be choosing for you. And it has nothing to do with what the showings had, nothing to do with what I saw on the Farsi or heard on the wireless or what I read on the reckoner on the interweb. You know, it has to do with what you said and did yourself. You think that I care what you think? You're not even a borrower of the 4-1 Reichs. You're from Trescavius land. That makes you one of those unlawful outsiders that I was fighting against when I made that wall between the 4-1 Reich and Mexicanish land boundary that the Winnemalt, the House of the Elders, and the House of the Folks had to fight me on because they didn't like it because it would take too much gold to do it. And so, why don't I just say, no one really cares what you have to say. No one really cares. I could give two shits about who would be the force setter. I don't really care if it's Kamala Harris. I don't care if it's you, Donald Trump. I don't really care. So there you go. You want to have a match with me here today? Because I know that if I have a match with you, I know I'll beat you. Yeah, well, you're out of your mind, Diana. You're out of your mind, Wonder Woman. You can't beat anyone. You know what? You're out of your mind, Diana. I was in WWE. I had two wrestling. My sport hall had two Wrestle Madnesses. I was at one Wrestle Madness when I closed rode down Vince McMahon and helped Steve Austin and Bobby Lashley cut his hair off. Yeah, and then Steve Austin gave you the stunner. I was also at I also yielded off the Boogeyman so he wouldn't irk me that night. You know also what I did? I was also the main overseer of Raw for 2 weeks. I was the half owner of WWE for 2 weeks. Yeah. You were only the on-show half owner of WWE and main overseer of Raw for at least 2 weeks. You know. But you know what? I could really care less about that. That's not going to stop me from beating you. Alright, we had enough of the bullshit. This isn't the four-setter Ryle here. Alright? This is a wrestling ring, and we wrestle, or we fight in it. So what I'm going to do is, Donald J. Trump, you're going to be fighting Diana, Wonder Woman, Elderling Diana, or Diana Elderling, whatever you want to call her. Yeah, you're going to be wrestling a Advanced Publishings or High for Layings, Warner Brothers Discovery, Warner Brothers DC self. We're doing it now. Well, John Bradshaw Lakefield laying down the law here today. The main overseer to TWF made this match happen. Here it comes now. Oh! Here it comes. Wonder Woman. The catastrophe kick on Donald Trump, Joey Styles says. Jonathan Coachman says, here it comes. The Wonder Woman cookie, the cutter. The Wonder Woman cutter. Oh, great. Now she's going to offshoot from all, now she's going to do all Cody Rhodes holds and stuff. The round street on Donald J. Trump, Joey Styles says. If he gets chosen as a four-setter or not, we all know he got his rear beat here today on Impact or Hit. Yeah, Jonathan Coachman said he'll be the only lawmaker not only to get beat up in a wrestling ring. You know, unless you reckoning out the two show players that played Rose O'Donnell and the show player who played Donald Trump on that one match on Alone Tonight Raw back in 2007 YL, Aiden English says. But that wasn't truly him, so, that truly was not him, Donald Trump wasn't truly him, Aiden English says. But Donald Trump's getting back up now. Oh! I know it's not going to look good, Joey Styles says. Donald Trump just picking up Wonder Woman and body slamming her. And Donald Trump apparently has a lawful list of unlawful things that he has done to folks over his long life. Oh! Look what you got me doing. You got me beating up on this woman. You set me up. You're making me look bad. This is what those folks want. It's fake news. They got me in a wrestling ring so I can fight you, and they can say, look, you can't trust him because he's fighting folks in a wrestling ring. Well, it's not fake news that Wonder Woman is coming back, getting the upper hand on Donald Trump again, Joey Styles said, a body slam. That's right, Jonathan Coachman said, Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman cutter. Round Street. Donald Trump is out now. Wonder Woman's going to beat him, Jonathan Coachman said. Aiden English says he thinks that Carmella Harris set him up. He thinks that they put him in this wrestling ring so they'll see him wrestling someone and they won't trust him and it'll besmirch his good name, Aiden English says. But I think at the end of the day he already besmirched his good name himself. This isn't one of them, Aiden English says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Wonder Woman. Well, Wonder Woman has beat Donald J. Trump here today on Impact or Hit. And we all know Joey Styles says that Donald Trump might write this off as fake news or say that him being booked in a wrestling match was only to make him look bad, to besmirch him and have more dirt throwing or mud throwing at him. But then again, Joey Styles said it's not that he's never had anything to do with wrestling. His sport hall had 2 Wrestle Madnesses came from his sport halls. He was put in the W Hall of Honor, Joey Styles says. Yeah, don't forget about that one year, Jonathan Coachman says, when Donald Trump was the overseer for Bobby Lashley and Vince McMahon had Umaga and Vince McMahon lost and had to get his hair cut by both Donald Trump, Steve Austin, and Bobby Lashley, Jonathan Coachman says. Yeah, that was true, Aiden English says. He also was the on-show half owner of Raw, half owner of WWE, and the main overseer of Raw for 2 weeks in 2009 YL. And a lot of folks want to forget about Vincent K. McMahon and his bullshit. And a lot of folks want to forget about Donald J. Trump and his bullshit. But sadly, we can only be lucky with that. Alright, take it away now, Gorilla Monsoon. Thank you, Thank you, Joey Styles and Jonathan Coachman. I'm going to be talking with Donald Trump today. You know what, Gorilla Monsoon? The great Gorilla Monsoon? Well, thank you for calling me great. It was all Carmella Harris. She set me up. She got me to be in this ring and wrestle Wonder Woman so they could do mud throwing or dirt throwing. Donald Trump, I hardly doubt Carmella Harris had anything to do with it. And two, it was John Bradshaw Lakefield, the main overseer, that booked the match. And Donald Trump, if you're so worried about having your good name besmirched, and folks worried about the dirt throwing and the mud throwing, then need be you should not be throwing dirt and mud at someone. If you can't handle it, don't give it. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. They can't get a riv of me. They may have gotten Vincent K. McMahon gone, but they can't get me gone. Yeah, I know. It's so bad. Folks still got to hear you, see you on the Farsi or hear you on the wireless, so yeah. Well, anyway, you're going to be choosing for me. Well, first off, I don't know who I'm going to be choosing for. You or Camilla Harris, to be earnest. You both mudslinged each other. And give me a break. I mean, I should have said, would you stop? Because you both were talking crazy. And you both, at that four-setter trial, just made it where no one really thinks either of you are be good four-setters. But anyway, you lost to Wonder Woman. Yeah, well, I'm just going to say that never happened. I'm sorry I had to wrestle Wonder Woman. Alright? They put me in there so they could besmirch my good name. So they can mudsling and say, look, he wrestled Wonder Woman. You can't trust him now. Well, that's my talk with Donald Trump, or Donald J. Trump. Back to you, Joey Styles and Jonathan Coachman. Thank you, Gorilla Monsoon, for talking with Donald J. Trump here today on Impact or Hit. And that's all the time we got here for Impact or Hit. I, Joey Styles, Jonathan Coachman. Joey Styles, Jonathan Coachman, 8 English. We hope you like Impact or Hit, and we'll see you tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown.